this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's, I don't even know, Monday, March 14th, 2021, and I'm here for my weekly cross-stitching update. I've got a good amount to share, so let's jump right in. First of all, I have a little bit of haul. I ordered some fabric as well, but it hasn't come in yet. I have plans. But my haul is this pattern by Cross Stitch XR, maybe? I will write it on the screen because I honestly don't remember the Etsy shop. But this is directly from the designer. This is, she calls it Victorian Village, but I think there's other names for it, like Fairy Tale Village, European Town, that kind of thing. And it's really, really long, really detailed. It's from the designer who is actually Ukrainian, so I felt even more happy supporting her. So I'll leave a link below to the Etsy shop where you can find this. And as far as I know, it is compatible with Pattern Keeper, which is exciting. There are backstitch details, which you'd have to do separately, but Pattern Keeper makes everything better. So I bought that. I don't know when I'll start it, but I could be persuaded to start it sometime this spring or summer because, yeah, you know me. I was thinking it's super long. It's almost 900 stitches wide, which is really long. So I was thinking of doing it 1/1 on 28 count. As far as I could tell, there were no fractional stitches. They're all full cross. And I would just find perhaps some fine thread to do the back stitching with and do the rest of it with the regular called for DMC. So that's kind of my plan with that one. And I think that's everything I have to share. I did buy some fabric as well, which I'll talk about more next time when it comes in, what my plans are for that. So let's jump right in here because I'm starting a little bit later than usual. And I want to make sure I get this done before my husband needs to take his lunch break. So starting out with my temperature pieces, I'm doing 2 this year. So this one is Wander With Me, which is the kitty cat version. You can find these in my Etsy shop, and this is Walk With Me, which is the puppy dog version. And I'm doing this one for this year, so I want to stay caught up, and I think I had started the yarn ball last week and didn't finish it, so I had thread on my needle, so I figured let's go ahead and finish that. And then I normally work on this in the car to and from church on Sunday morning, and this week there were 2 paws to do that I had all the temperatures for, plus the yarn ball that was still on my needle, so I figured I knew it wasn't going to take the whole time, so I ended up working, I knew I was going to need to work on it more than just that time in the car because there was just too much to do. So I ended up working on it more later during Deadliest Catch and got the yarn ball finished and the 2 pots. So yay, this is all cut up. So this is on 27 count Vintage Country Mocha, 1/1, full cross. And so yeah, the yarn ball curls are all around here. These paws will eventually curl around here and kind of go up over this area as well. So I did these 2. Got another little hot patch in there, the warm colors, and then it cooled off again. So that's typical of spring here in Southern California. So yeah, that's pretty cute. I'm hoping the lighting works this time. It seems dark to me in the camera, but I don't think it should override the settings I figured out last time. So, oh yeah, and a new needle minder that I made from some buttons. I actually made a whole batch of needle minders last week and filmed it to do a little "this is how I do it" video, and then I forgot to edit it. So it's still in my phone. I'll try to get to that this week and get that put up for you so you can see how I do it. It's not super tricky, but I've had people ask what I do, and I've only made them a few times, but it is nice to be able to do it yourself occasionally. My other temperature piece is Temperature Butterflies, which is another one of my designs, and I'm doing this for the year 2002. And I didn't get very much done on this at all because I spent more time on my cats, the cat paws, getting that cut up. So this one really only got one length of thread in that March butterfly. This is 32 count mystery gray green even weave, 1/1 full cross, and just one length of that dark gray there while we were watching BattleBots. And then when we watched Deadliest Catch on Sunday, I finished up my kitty cat. So there's that. Hopefully I'll get some more time on that this week. And I'll probably work on this as well during travel stitching once I finish this other project that I've been doing in the ballet line, because I do have a lot to get caught up on for the month of March. So anyways, this is my travel piece that I'm doing in the car in the school pickup line. Year in Stitches by the Victoria Sampler. This was last year's stitch along, and now it's being released 1 month at a time on their website in the creative designs section, because you pick your own colors. So I'm working on March right now, and not sure if it's up yet. They are releasing them about the middle of each month. I have the creative designs link in my description box so that it will be relevant regardless of when they release everything. So you can be checking that, and if you don't see March yet, March should be up soon, I would think. So here is all of it, and I'll put March up close for you, so do a nice before and after. This is 28 count Dove Gray Monaco, mostly 2/2. Then the back stitching and most of the specialty stitches are 1/1. These shamrocks and other places where there's satin stitches are done with 2 strands. So it tends to have a better, fluffier look than 1 strand. So as you can see, I did a good amount. All the white, all the ground is pretty much done now. I would think I was working on this tree last time. I finished the roof. I think I may have had the roof done last time. The black here, the dark blue, I'm working on the light blue. I decided to go ahead with a gray chimney, and there's a gray like step here at the bottom, so that kind of coordinated, because I said last time I didn't really have a brick red kind of color. I just had this bright red. I'll do the door in bright red because I think that's kind of fun. And then there's some yellow in the shutters and the sun. And then there's a bunch of French knots for the buds in the spring that are kind of floating around. So this is kind of a fun scene because you can tell the snow is melting and the trees are kind of starting to flower a little bit. And then we'll move on into more wholehearted flowery. I think the April one might have some rain in it, you know, so it's pretty classic Northern Hemisphere stuff with the seasons. So that's fun. I really like that. I suppose these are different sizes. They're not all the same size. As you can see, they don't line up. These two are the widest, and then these are a little bit shorter. These are 40 by 40, I think, these smaller ones. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them that are 40 by 40. These are 45 by 45, and then these two are 50 by 50. Finally figured that out. Or 50 by 40. They're all 40 inches wide. 45 by 40. Okay. So, if you were to do a Southern Hemisphere version of this, you could probably rearrange it to have your January start up here with one of the summer ones, you know, but you would maybe need to follow the same layout. Like, I'm trying to think what this one is. Let's see. June. So maybe start with the July and do like this is your January instead of this one, and do this one, and then end up with the June one at the bottom. You know, so that's kind of an idea if you wanted to do this in Australia. Where's my camera? So this is fun. I'm hopeful that maybe I'll get a finish on this March block this week, and then I'll spend my extra days on the butterfly, see if I can get that. all outlined at least. That would be really nice, and then I can start filling it in with the last couple weeks of March. My Mill Hill that I'm working on is Buttons and Beads Hummingbird, and this is pretty springy as well. There's a group of ladies doing Spring into Mill Hill hashtag, and I haven't used it yet because I haven't actually posted any progress on Instagram, but if I finish this in the month of March, I want to start a new Buttons and Beads kit. Honeybee and Spring Bluebird were the close contenders. I can't remember who. I think Honeybee might be in the lead. I'm not sure. But when it comes time to start the next one, I will look at my tallies and see who wins. But there's I'm in the Magazine Monthly Challenge Facebook group, and they have a focus on, what is it that it's a focus on? Something spring, maybe. Oh, focus on something close to a finish. Your thing that's closest to a finish next week. And so I think I'm gonna maybe try to work on this as my bonus stitching a little bit every day. I still want to try to get some Knitting Woman worked on, but I'd like to get this finished. So next week, when it's the focus on a finish week in that group, I think I want to try to get this done. So it's getting close. Here is where he or she is at now. I don't know. Do hummingbirds have different colorings for the males and females? You bird enthusiasts, let me know. Would this be a male or a female? Potentially a male, because I know a lot of other bird species, these bright colors would be only on the male. So I don't remember exactly what I did, but I think I finished all of the turquoise. Yeah, it looks like I finished the turquoise. So I don't think I did anything else. There is a little bit more, there's some more of this pale color over here as well. And then I have beading is all I have left in that flower. I was looking at it, trying to figure out what else I could do to stitch, but this is done. That flower is finished being stitched. It just has a bunch of beads. And there's these holes right here are the stamens of this flower, which will have some back stitching as well. So that's what I have left. I have some pale color, some beading, and a little bit of back stitching. So not too much. Because I like to work on this on Monday for my bonus stitching. Hopefully I'll get to that today and do a little bit of that. I often take that with me we have dinner at my in-laws' house most Mondays, and so I can take that along a lot of the time and kind of stitch on it while we visit after dinner. So that really helps. And sometimes even a little bit in the car. Now that we've had time change this past weekend, it'll be lighter in the car to and from dinner. Sometimes even, I sometimes lately have been stitching on the way to dinner, but coming home is always dark. So who knows, might be light enough to stitch now on the way home. Gets a little bit more time on that Mill Hill. So Knitting Woman, I did work on her this week. I didn't work on that one at all last week, but I got back to it this week. So that's really good. Where is this? Here she is. Golden Kite Knitting Woman. I am trying to finish this year. So I'm trying to give it, I bumped up my minimum bonus stitching amount of time, which is a little bit of like afternoon stitching before I work on my main piece for the day. And I bumped it up to about 100 stitches at a time instead of at least 50, because a lot of times I was getting up to 100 anyways, and I missed all of last week or the week before, you know, and I'm not doing Monday and Tuesdays because of Mill Hill Monday and then Temperature Tuesday to try to work on my butterflies, which I didn't do this last week either. So anyways, I feel like it needs a little bit more attention. So I'm trying to do a minimum of a 100 each of the 5 days I work on it. So every week. And I got that this week, so that's good. So this had a little over 600 total stitches actually this week. So this is on 22 count Aida 2/1 half stitches. And you could see probably I did a little bit of the darker bits in here. I did some of the pink, which came down here as well. And I can't tell if this is her skirt or like what she's knitting. So I guess that'll come to light a little bit more later. I did some more in this sleeve as well. So yeah, super fun. Hopefully I'll keep trucking along on that. It is really nice to bring this out regularly. It's really easy to follow and everything makes sense. Even because the colors kind of flow, even though there's a lot of them, and there are some confetti bits because I'm using Pattern Keeper. It does make it easy and not stressful to work on, so that's nice. Okay, I think that's all of my random projects. Most of my stitching, or all of my focused stitching this week, was directed by the March bracket that I've been participating in, which is really fun. I am kind of following the plan of the Steel City Stitchers, and where I had 8 projects. One version they have is where you work on all 8, and then they get matched up against each other in Instagram polls, and they move forward to the next 4. And then you get another day of work on all of those 4. And so, and then the championship gets those 2 projects get another day of work. And then the winner gets a final 4th day of work. So all of my projects that I included in the Elite 8 of my bracket are things that I really wanted to get some progress or some particular goals on this month. So whatever wins will probably have its goal met, surpassed perhaps. Some of the other ones that haven't won, I'll bring back at the end of the month, starting next week, and plug them in for a few more days to get some of my goals finished. So that's been fun. So I will try to share how this has gone. So let's see, I saw you I filmed on Monday last week, and I was about to work on Winter Rose. And then the next day I was working on Summer Queen. So these were my 2 fancy ladies that were on my Whipco board. I have 2 Whipco boards, which is a Facebook group by Jessie Marie Does Stuff. And she draws 2 numbers every month. So these were the 2 numbers on that board. I have 2 boards. The other board is full coverage. So I figured these would be perfect to do a day on each, and then put them up for a vote to see which one people wanted to move on to the next round and get another day of progress. So this was a very tight, where is this? Yeah, this one and the next one were actually pretty close. They were the closest so far. And it even went back and forth at the very beginning until Winter Rose won by 56%. She had 56% of the votes. So I actually worked on her again yesterday because I had already come back around and I'm starting to work on my final 4 projects. So she has had 2 days of progress now since you saw her last. And this is where she's at now. And this is 46 count vintage Misty Rain linen, and it's 1/2, and I'm really happy with it. So I didn't realize last time I had more to do in these scroll work bits than I had realized. I had only had the dark color done, the dark blue in, I think this one was finished, and this one still had some more to do. But there was also a lighter blue in there that I also needed to do on both sides, plus the red ribbons. So I've finished these motifs completely. And then last night I was able to start in on her. Yay! So this is her hat. The top of her hat is all done. She'll have a little bit of back stitching around the edge later of the white part to make sure it doesn't blend in too much with the fabric. And there's a little rose at the back of her hat, and then I can start it in her hair and her face. So my Whipco goal for all of my fancy ladies is 3 days in the month. So if she does not win in her next voting, I will bring her out one more time at the end of the month anyways, And I'm hoping to get her a little face done. That would be really fun. So I worked on her yesterday, and she's gonna go up in a poll probably tomorrow against the other one, which I'll share in a bit because I haven't shared that part yet. But the other one that was that particular bracket was the Summer Queen. And this one did not win, but I will hopefully bring her out again for 2 more days later in the month. And here's where I got on her. She is on 32 count oyster linen by MCG Textiles, 2/2. And I did an hour on her on that face and still didn't even get it finished. These ladies are huge, you know, compared to Nora Corbett's with the way they're, the scale. There's just so much stitching in here, which just blows me away when people choose to do the skin on Mirabilia's 1/1 skin for days, because it already takes a long time when you're doing it 2/2. So I will pull her out again for 2 more days at the end of the month to get my whip goal. So I'll work on finishing her face, probably work into her neck a little bit, but then I'll kind of focus more on her hair as well. So I'll get her chin and everything, you know, done enough that I can backstitch her face. I think she has a lip color in there as well that needs to go get put in. So that'll be fun. And the last of my Elite 8 teams that went up against each other were the full coverage Whipco draws. I figured it would be a good idea to put like projects together. And then as they progress through the bracket, they'll go up against things that are not similar to them. But at least to start with, they were against something similar to themselves. So the next thing I worked on was my Friends of the Library. What did I do with this? Oh, I left it in here. So this one is a rechart from a Bucilla kit that was a needlepoint kit, and I'm now working on it in powder paper with DMC thread on 18 count Aida. So this was my first full coverage project, and I'll show you the other one. The one I was up against was End of the Ball. So these were my 2 Whipco draws for the month of March, and my goal on the full coverage Whipco board is 1,000 stitches on each of these. So they will both come back out again as well to make sure I get that amount of stitches on them. So this one, this is how far I got on this. This is 18 count antique white Aida, 2/1, full crosses. And I decided I was considering working down each book because this is about the line of the first bookshelf. And I don't know. I'm still a little bit torn, but then the other part of me was like, go ahead and do the typewriter method. Just see what it looks like. So I went ahead and kept going along the top, picking new symbols, working it till my thread ran out, and that's how I've been doing it so far. So I only got 228 stitches, which is okay, but when I'm going for 1,000, I definitely need some more. So this one actually won the bracket with another 56% win over End of the Ball. So End of the Ball will come out later. I got 419 half stitches on End of the Ball, so it's actually kind of nice that that one didn't win, because then I'll have less time for trying to do makeup stitches later in the month, because I only need 600 more of that one. This one I need 800 more. So this one I'll be working on today actually, because it's my next Final 4 project. And then this one will go up against Winter Rose in the next bracket, in the championship. Not the championship, the Final 4. So I'll put a poll up for these two tomorrow after I've made progress on this one and see which one advances to the finals. So much fun. And my son, who kind of encouraged me to do this in the first place, is enjoying that the actual college basketball bracket came out yesterday, so he's in the throes of making all of his predictions, so he's enjoying that. Yeah, then I worked on End of the Ball. And like I said, I got 400. These are half stitches, so that's maybe why. And this is on 24 count Congress cloth, so it is a little bit see-through. There you go. And this is how far I got on this one. And I went ahead and I was tempted to do some of these. This is a 2/1 half stitch on 24 count ivory Congress cloth. I was tempted to fill in some of these colors and do like fill in the 10x10 square of picking symbols rather than just the top row. But when all is said and done, I went ahead and kept doing the top row until I got to where I figured I had about the amount of time left in my stitchy time for one more length of thread. So I figured, let's do something that makes it obvious that these people are here. So I went ahead and abandoned my typewriter method for one symbol and picked a symbol. It was up here a little bit too, but it came down and worked on the man's face. Super cool. So this is his hair and his face, and then her head is here, and she's, I think, facing this direction. So, yay! That's fun. So this one will come back out later. I don't have dates plugged in yet for any of these because I want to get through the bracket first, see what is left, what I need to work on, and then I'll plug everything in. So then my first Final Four project was Sampler of Stitches, because that one won the first Elite 8. This one was the first one that won a poll. I got to work on that one again. This is the close-up of the section that I'm working on. I'm focusing on the D square, or the D section, which is bigger than the E section. The A, B, C were all the size of this F, but these two are kind of 2/3 and 1/3 kind of situation. So it's big, but I got a decent amount of progress. So I'm happy with that. And this one went up against the next one, and I already have a winner for that. Should I tell you? I struggle with knowing when to tell you when things. So this one had won By the Window, won the poll that was probably finished like right before. I don't know. It might have been up. I don't know when the poll ended for this one, if I had already made my video or not. But this one won the second poll for the Elite 8. So these two were pitted up against each other in a poll that ended this morning. And, drum roll please, By the Window won with 64% of the votes. So I will show you Sampler of Stitches now, but I do want to try to get some more work on this before the end of the month. So here is this one right now. So this is on the called for 30 count custard cream linen, mostly with one strand, unless the specialty stitch specifically calls for 2. So all the cross stitches are 1/2, specialty stitches are 1 strand, and I got that big D finished. It's cross stitching with some backstitch embellishments, and worked in a few more specialty stitches over here, and there's another color in this patch, but I wasn't able to get to that quite yet. So yay, that's where that one is. I would like to do more on it in March if I can. I have a lot of things I'd like to do later in the month, so we'll see if I have time for all of them. Lots of plans, too many I think, but we'll see how it shakes out. I don't think I worked on that anymore. I'm not sure where I brought that. So my other one, like I showed you, is By the Window in the Morning. This is a I'm doing this for my anniversary. So I'd like to get this done by August. And it won the first Final Four matchup. So I'll be working on this again one more time, which will be my total. I was planning to work on it 3 days in the month of March anyways, so that's great. I won't need to do any makeup stitching on this one. So I will work on this one tomorrow. Yeah, I work on this tomorrow. And then Wednesday I'll work on the winner between Winter Rose and Friends of the Library. And then Thursday I'll work on the overall winner who wins the championship. So that's kind of my plans for what I'm working on when. And here's my by the window. So potentially this could get a 4th day, which would not be terrible. But so far it has had 2 days, and I'm planning to give it one more tomorrow in the for championship stitching. So this is on 18 count beige Devosa, 2 strands over 1, and I'm converting this to be a nighttime scene, and some of the colors are muted or changed. This time I focused on her. I got her skin mostly finished. In her face it's done. Her arm is almost done. Her arm is mostly done. I have a little bit more here in her hand to do. And I started working on her hair. So I'd like to get, this is some of his leg too that I had extra skin colors. So I'll do next time tomorrow, I'll work on hair and probably a little bit of this darker skin tone over here to try to backstitch a little bit in this section as well. That might be too much to do on one day, but that'll be what I'm shooting for. So that's been fun working on that. And I think it might be getting the votes because it's colorful. So, all right. I think that's everything I worked on for that. So let's do a little bit of plans, because this week I'm working on Friends of the Library today, By the Window in the morning, and then 2 more unknowns of the ones you've just seen as the bracket completes. Will be done on Thursday. So, and then Friday, I'm planning to have a new start. Actually, before that, Wednesday, I'm also planning to have a new start because I just can't help myself. It won't be a focus piece. It will be just a few stitches, and I might put in just a few stitches on a couple days this week, but I figured I needed to jump on this bandwagon. So Leanne from Small Town Stitches is having a birthday on Wednesday. She is starting a Ciro Marchetti pattern for her birthday. I believe she started it on the 1st of March and she's working on it now already through her birthday. I'm not sure if she's working on it all month. I'm not really sure, but I figured I have one by him. I haven't started it yet, so let's join in. I believe she has a hashtag smalltown FCB Day Sal, and so if you have a full coverage pattern and you want to work on it to help celebrate Leanne's birthday, jump in. I decided this is already a quick stitch. There's a bigger version of this design. This is honing in on most of the action. I wanted to even hone in even more, so I'm cropping it. It'll be long and skinny. And because all I really care about is this cute kitty, the tea set, and like the sewing supplies. So I'm cropping it just below this line on the windows. And that makes it, like I said here, 177 stitches tall, and then the full 400 wide. I'm going to do it on 40 count, 1 over 1, half stitches, just like my Bear Time stories. So I have enough scrap 40 count Verdal even weave to do it, because it'll be like 4, I forgot already. It'll be 10 inches wide and like 4 inches tall, 4 to 5 inches tall. So totally cute. So I'm excited to start that. I'll try to start it on Wednesday with a little bit of my bonus time in the afternoon and try not to let it affect my bracket focus projects too much, but I had to jump in on that one. So then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I will be doing more of a focused start to start the spring montage by Janet Stever, with Pain-Free Crafts is the company that has charted this. The artwork by Janet Stever. And Pain-Free Crafts is a UK company, so just keep that in mind when you head over there if you're from the US, that there will be a currency conversion. I will be starting in the top corner, and I think what I'm going to do this time, because I will probably want to do, see, that goes even past this little box. Interesting. I might eventually want to do the typewriter method all the way across this whole thing because it's all kind of one scene up here. But for this time, in order to get 1,000 stitches on this, to have it be a nice round number, and all of my other full coverages will get 1,000 stitches, this year I figured let's do that with these too. Over the 3 days I'm working on it, I want to focus on the stitches within the 10 by 10 square. So I will be using my typewriter method with the stitches in this 10 by 10 square and using those symbols wherever they go in this first scene. So that's my plan for that. Because I want to get far enough, I don't want to just have border, I want to get far enough on each of these montages that I can tell them apart when I come back to them later. So that's my plan. And I have 28 count mushroom Lugana, planning to do them 1/1. I am thinking I might test a few stitches on this earlier in the week, but at the very least on Friday when I start, without cutting it, and see if I like how the stitches look on this, because they do, some of them will blend in. So I want to see if I can handle that, if it bugs me too much, if I can see it, whatnot. If for some reason I don't want to stitch it on the mushroom, I have some white even weave, a white linen, a Lugana, white 28 count Lugana that I'll do it on instead. But I would like to do this because I bought this for it. And I have enough for all 4 technically, but I already started my winter one on white, I think, because that's what I had. And so I want to maybe do the other 3 on this if I can. So we'll see. So we'll see what I actually end up doing, if it's on mushroom or white. Okay. So that'll be my weekend stitching, will be that. So we'll see if I can get 1,000 stitches on that over the course of the weekend. So, time for me to go, but one more thing I have to share with you is a giveaway. Because I noticed when I was posting my video last week that I have passed 11,000 subscribers on my channel, which is, again, mind-blowing. Those numbers just keep ticking up. So there's clearly stitchers out there. They keep coming. So I'm blown away. It's been a wonderful experience. I think I've been doing these for 4 years, 5 years, something like that. Somebody told me recently. I think it might have been 5 years. Either 4 or 5 years. I don't really pay attention to my anniversary, but my Flosstube anniversary. But I have some things to celebrate 1,000 subscribers. So I have some giveaways in the form of paper charts that will be open to anybody in the world. Make sure not to use the word giveaway or win or enter or prize, things like that, because we don't want trolls. I want you guys to get these. And I will have a keyword for the different things. So just make sure you have those keywords in your comment, and then I'll pull them using the random comment picker next week. I also am going to have a coupon code in my Etsy shop for my patterns, which will be in keeping with the theme, 11% off for 11 days with the coupon code 11K thanks. So I'll put that right here and the date it goes through, because at this point I actually don't know. I'll have it live when I put my video goes live. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So through the evening of the 24th of March, I'll have that sale. If you use the coupon code for 11% off all the PDFs and print copies in my shop. So, yeah, I was trying to think if there's, I don't think there's anything else other than all of sharing what all of these are. So a lot of these charts are from the Fat Quarter Shop that I've been given that I just have held on to because I'm not sure if I want to stitch them, and then I just realized, you know what, I probably won't. So I'm going to share them with you. The first three, though, are not from them, so I'll go ahead and share those. This is from Homespun Elegance, and it's Faith, and it's really sweet. Again, just something I don't think I'll get to. And so if you want this one, you can say Faith. And I have this one, which I had been keeping, but I decided I don't know that I'll get to it. This is a lavender and lace bride pattern, and I did stitch a different bride already, so I'm not necessarily keen on doing one again. I was thinking maybe doing a color conversion, but nah. I've got other things I want to do. So this one is called Ivy Wed, and maybe use the word lace for lavender and lace. For the keyword for that, I'm going to try to keep the words simple. I have a Prairie Schooler Santa pattern that was given to me, and I'm not planning to do these. So if you want this one, it's number 195. Santa's Revisited. We have 90, 94, and 2005 are the Santas in this one. So we have one with animals, that's cute, and then a quilting sewing one and some sunflowers. That's nice. So if you want this one, you can say Santa. And these are, the next ones are all ones from the Fat Quarter Shop. So here is Homegrown, I guess is what it's called. And so if you want this one, you can say Home. This is American Spirit, the American flag on it. And this one, you can say Flag. We have Pumpkins for Sale, which is pretty cute. And I don't think, yeah, we'll go ahead and say the word pumpkin for this one. After I did that Autumn Beauties, I don't think I'll be stitching this one because I've done a similar fall themed one already. Here's Sew by Row. She has a bunch of sewing themes: fabric, thread, iron, quilt squares, tomatoes, sewing machines, scissors. Use the word sew on this one if you want that. This one is called Prim and Proper and is kind of alluding to the Prim Stitch series, which I finished recently. So use the word prim if you want to be entered for that one. This one's cute. Farm Life with cute little animal bottoms there. And use the word farm if you want that one. Or, yeah. And then this one is Flea Market Baskets. And I already have started Flea Market Flowers, so I don't think I'll be doing this one as well. I need to finish Flea Market Flowers as soon as I can make space for it in my travel stitching. So Flea Market Baskets. So use the word baskets or basket. Either one is fine. I'll just probably type in basket. So use basket as a keyword for that. And this one is the Vintage Housewife, which I believe they have a year-long stitch along happening right now. I know Denise over at Black Ribbon Stitch Studio is working on this. It's fun to see her progress. So maybe use the word vintage for that one. Excuse me. So yay. Thank you all for the love you've given me over the years and the camaraderie this channel has brought. Sorry, I have some tickle in my throat. I need to go drink some water. Thank you for all your love for Smokey. As she's been growing, it's fun to compare her to when she was little. I'll maybe put a little screenshot here when I first showed her to you. And with that, I hope you have a wonderful week and happy stitching. Bye.